Hello, dear friends, and welcome to our daily prayer service on Kardec Radio, Nourishing Our Souls Always. And today we will be reading a short chapter from Living Spring. And before we begin, we would like to consciously connect with God, with Jesus, with the spirits on high, and of course Mother Mary. We invite all spirits that would like to take a few minutes out of their day to connect with God, Divine Providence, and Jesus, our guide and model, remembering that we want to surrender our own will to God's will, to remember that our work, our words and thoughts during the day, we want to consecrate to God, to be good co-creators. And this moment gives us an opportunity to regroup and get new ideas, new impetus to continue for the rest of the day. And with gratitude in our hearts for this sacred, beautiful moment, we ask for permission to begin our daily prayer service now, and so be it. Dear friends, it is so important that we connect with God, that we turn the mirror of our soul, of our hearts, and our minds and connect with God, with Divine Providence, with the love and light that is surrounding us continuously. And as we turn the mirror of our minds, hearts, and souls to connect with God, we have a better ability to reflect God's love and light back into our lives that then we can use to be of better service. So today we will be reading chapter 93 in Living Spring by Emmanuel through Chico Xavier. And the chapter is titled The Inner Altar. It is prefaced by a quotation by Paul, and it says, "We have an altar." And this we can find in Hebrews 13:10. To this day we have built altars far and wide in praise of the Master and Lord, made of gold, marble, wood, or clay, adorned with perfumes, treasures, and flowers. We have raised sanctuaries and have called on the help of art in adding artificial illumination and external beauty. As soon as the monument to faith is finished, we get down on our knees in prayer and search for divine inspiration. And in fact, every such activity is praiseworthy, even when we make the common mistake of forgetting those starving out on the street and focus on the pomp of worship, because love and gratitude to the power of heaven, even when wrongly expressed, deserves veneration. However, it is indispensable to grow into the greater life. The Master himself used the Samaritan woman to warn us that the time would come when the Father would be worshipped in spirit and in truth. Paul adds that we have an altar. The ultimate purpose of temples of stone is to awaken our awareness. Awakened Christians, however, act as self-priests, glorifying love when faced with hatred, peace when faced with strife, peace of mind when faced with trouble, good when faced with evil. Therefore, let us remember our inner altar, which we should consecrate to the divine power and to heavenly goodness. Coming to stone altars with a soul shut to the light and to the inspiration of the Master is the same as setting an impenetrable coffer of darkness out in the full light of the sun. The light waves continue to be light waves, but the darkness is not affected. Hence, let us present our oblations and sacrifices to the Lord by means of blessed gifts of love for our neighbor, thus worshiping the Lord on the altar of our hearts. And let us proceed with the work we're called to do. Friends, Emmanuel, the beautiful educator, the wise soul, is giving us some really important guidelines. First, he speaks about stone altars and stone temples. He says that stone altars are praiseworthy because if we worship God, that is always praiseworthy. Further on, he says stone temples have the opportunity to awaken our awareness. However, if we go to stone temples with stone altars and our hearts are closed, he says it is counterproductive. We're not really achieving much. So ultimately, he's telling us that stone churches and stone altars are not necessary. Why is that? He says that we need to remember above and beyond, above everything else, our inner altar, the altar of our hearts, and that we're invited to consecrate to the divine power. We're invited to consecrate our inner altars to the heavenly goodness. Jesus doesn't want us to draw a line between the church and the workplace. He considers the whole earth as the workplace back when he was alive, and the invitation stands for us today. So how do we consecrate our inner altar to the divine power, to the divine goodness? How do we do that? How do we give our sacrifices to the Lord correctly, as Jesus had proposed it to us? How do we do that? And Emmanuel gives us the answer. He says we need to remember those that are starving out on the streets. And that is, of course, not only meant literally, but also in a picture way. Everyone who is suffering. We need to remember everyone who is suffering in body, mind, and spirit, incarnate as well as excarnate, discarnate. We need to always wear a bifocal lens. He further says that we need to give our neighbors the blessed gifts of our love. Love as the most healing, most important aspect of our lives, of our service, constituting our inner altar. Jesus' proposal of worshiping God is on the altar of our hearts. So we come from the heart in our thoughts, our feelings, our words, and our actions. Today, Emmanuel invites us, and of course it goes back to Jesus, to fulfill our duties. What are duties? Duties are a series of activities in the realm of goodness, so doing the good, even when we fulfill our duties. And we must also remember that, as Emmanuel teaches us in Thought and Life, charity only begins where duty ends. Dear friends, let us close our eyes, and we're playing a little music, and let us connect again, consciously, with this beautiful, beautiful energy from the hearts, from the altars of our hearts. Dear Mother, Father God, Beloved Jesus, our guide and model, our Master, and dear Mother Mary, thank you for watching out, looking out for us, helping us with your guidelines, your support, and all the good spirits, the phalanges of love that is surrounding us, allowing us to open our hearts and passing on the gifts and the love and the light to our needy brothers and sisters, to those who are more in need than we are. Let us remember to replace love when we encounter hatred. Let us further remember to always offer pardon wherever there is injury. And let us practice faith, always faith and no doubt. Hope as the divine spark of progress. Let us always feel hopeful and not surrender to despair. And whenever there is darkness, negativity, let us remember to let our light shine. And when there is sadness, let us make sure to spread joy and happiness always. In short, let us remember to be of service, to console and not so much ask for consolation, and to understand rather than asking for understanding, and to heal, to help heal rather than ask for healing. We remember as we are moving forward in a renewed way that it is through giving that we receive. Thank you for this divine opportunity to pause and connect with your love, your light, your support, your healing. And as we move forward, we will consecrate our altar of love, our inner altar of love to you. And so be it. Thank you, dear friends, for this beautiful moment, and thank you all for joining. God bless you. Have a beautiful rest of your day.